it's a bird, it's a plane. No, it's a tap that will change the way you enjoy your next pint. And Darren Ravel has this tough assignment. Darren, as a sports reporter, I mean, you should have like some background in beer, a PhD or something in beer technology, shouldn't you? I mean, beer is very important. Yeah, beer consumption.
Yeah, absolutely.
So this is right up your alley,
yeah,
I think.
This is perfect, and that's why I'm doing this piece.
Yeah.
So, you know, this device looks pretty simple, but it's actually very complex, and the result to many is a magic money machine.
If you've ever been in a concession line, you've made this statement. There's got to be a way to make this go faster. As a student at the University of Wisconsin, Matt Yonkel did, wondering why the folks in the student union couldn't pour beer faster. So the engineering major put his degree to use. Today, his company is the maker of TurboTap, a device that is fit onto taps. It pours a beer with a perfect collar 2 or 3 times faster than beer that flows from a conventional tap.
The neat part about it is it's just working on the fluid principles of beer. There aren't any moving parts inside the TurboTap.
Over the past 3 years, sports team owners and concessionaires have been using TurboTaps to maximize pours and profits. Today, they're in 28 stadiums across the country, filling up 10 beer cups a minute.
Every second counts in a concessions environment, because there's a fixed amount of time between the times the gate opens and the game ends, or they shut off the beer sales, to make all the revenue. I mean, in the case of football, it's literally 40 hours a year.
The Chicago Cubs management was happy with TurboTap after it not only poured beer faster, but yielded 12 more cups per keg thanks to no spillage.
If you get 50% yield, you're still making great margins. Well, we don't want to do that. We want to show at 95%, you know, your margins are extraordinary.
TurboTap's margins aren't shabby either. Yonkel decided the best model was to lease each tap at $99 per tap per year. There's also a service component, $10 per tap per month. Basketball arenas have hundreds of taps. Baseball stadiums can have as much as 500 taps. Football stadiums, sometimes well over 1,000 taps. They're also helping the ka-ching for bar owners, who pay up to $130 a keg for a premium beer. And watch out, TurboTap's latest innovation is in the works. CNBC got an exclusive first look at the portable beer cooling device, TurboChill.
TurboChill allows the beer to be chilled as the beer is dispensed, as opposed to chilling the keg and opposed to icing it down.
Now, if only they could do something about that beer belly thing.
Yeeks.
Now, TurboTap is no longer a small startup recently tapping, get it, an executive from a major U.S. brewery to become their CEO. Home kits, by the way, start at $179.
You can buy this for your garage?
Yeah, but you need to have a keg. Yeah, you can buy the home kit. And the #1 question I got is, can you do it with a Guinness?
Yes,
and they actually do have a little device that you can kind of get it through. It's not.
They don't use a spoon.
no.
I mean, this is Nobel worthy. We had remember the Fortune writer that was saying the iPod was more revolutionary than a CAT scan?
Yeah.
Well, this just leapfrogs over CAT scans and
This is
iPods.
big time. And they are private, but I'm sure they're going to have people talking to them. You kind of wonder who would buy them. I know some of the beer companies aren't too thrilled. They kind of like the slow way. But listen, you got to enable these people to make their profits.
Yeah.
And if you can say you can get that much more per cup, speed up the lines. You know, at some point they said before the leasing, we might charge $1,500 for this thing, but it kind of looks like, you know, it's $1. So it's hard to charge. But the leasing component, I mean, that is.
And once you get addicted to it, you can't give it back.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're going to be stuck with it.
This is revolutionary.
Darren, great stuff.
Okay.
Where's our beer?
While the Smart Beer Coaster is showing great promise, on the other side of the Atlantic in Chicago, Matt Yonkel's frothy invention, the TurboTap, is changing the way draft beer has been poured for 100 years.
I understand it was somewhere like this that you came up with the idea.
Exactly. It was at the terrace at the University of Wisconsin where they had a long beer line on the outdoor venue. So 40 people, 50 people all queued up to get their pitchers and cups of beer.
TurboTap delivers the perfect beer in super quick time.
It really is a clever clever design. With standard taps, bartenders have to actually tip the glass to control the amount of foam, and even then they've got to give it a few hits just to get it right. But with this system, they get it right first time, every time, in a matter of seconds, and it's 4 times faster.
Like the best inventions, it's simple and elegant. The turbo spout can be fixed to existing taps. The nozzle narrows to control the flow of beer, and although it comes out 4 times faster than a regular tap, it doesn't come out in one big gush. Instead, a diverter at the base of the spout gently disperses the beer in multiple directions. From idea to finished product, it took Matt 10 years and hundreds of prototypes.
You must be thrilled.
It's terrific.
Cheers.
Cheers.
By minimising wastage, TurboTap gets at least 10 extra beers out of a keg.
The TurboTap is proving to be a major hit in this country. Just 9 months after its commercial release, Matt and his team have sold 5,000 units, with plans to sell another 50,000 in the next 12 months. And that means that sometime beyond tomorrow, long queues at the bar will be a thing of the past. And I'll drink to that. Cheers.
They say the beer comes out 4 times faster than an ordinary tap. We'll put the TurboTap to the test.
WCCO 4 News at 10 starts now.
You think Michael maybe bought a round of his favorite beer tonight to celebrate?
1 or 2, maybe. and if he did his beer buying at the XL Energy Center in St. Paul, well, a new invention promised to pour that beer 4 times faster than the traditional way. Jason DeRussa shows us the TurboTap.
We got beer here. Anybody interested in the beer?
Hockey fans drink a lot of beer, and lines at the beer stand mean you're missing the game.
That beer tap was real fast.
Enter the TurboTap.
There's nothing bad about it. It speeds up customer service, and it reduces the air for pouring a bad beer.
Jim Domagal shows us how it works.
And you fire it open, and it fills from the bottom upward.
It's a combo of higher pressure and slightly lower carbonation.
Just turn it off, and there's your perfect beer.
We put a clock on Jim's pour, and indeed, the beer is ready in just 8 seconds. That's down from 30 or more.
What I like about it is that it's fast, and the beer goes right to the top. There's no foam, there's no overflow, and nobody complains that their beer isn't full to the top.
Perhaps the least surprising thing about the TurboTap is where it was discovered. The inventor of this thing was a student at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. He was studying fluids. On an average hockey night, the X pours almost 11,000 cups of beer.
Well, I don't have foam lining my upper lip right now, and it's kind of pleasurable.
They figure the new system eliminates almost 60 hours of waiting, 20 seconds at a time.
Pretty good beer.
You might need another taste just to verify.
Yeah, let me check it. Let me check it out.
Just for research purposes.
That's good beer.
Pretty good. All right.
Woo!
So lucky that guy was willing to help us with the research there. Jason tells us the biggest attraction for the X is the reduced waste per keg. They think they get more beer out of there, and so for them, more revenue.
And according to the Wall Street Journal, a student at the University of Wisconsin has invented a special nozzle that allows you to pour draft beer twice as fast as ever before possible. You can now get a beer in your glass in 3 seconds.
The TurboTap pours from the bottom of the glass to the top. He says it fills a glass 2 to 4 times faster than a regular tap and produces less foam and spills.
We can also help a bar owner save a lot of money in terms of the beer that they would otherwise waste.
It's been a problem, if you can call it that, for beer-loving baseball fans for years. And here's what it is. You miss some of the action at the ballpark because of the long line at the beer stand. At last, there's a solution. It's called TurboTap.
You beer drinkers, it might be the ultimate fraternity fantasy, a beer tap that pours beer faster. The new TurboTap is being used in some restaurants and sports stadiums. The tap's nozzle extends into a glass bottom and pours beer upward in an evenly distributed flow, and a lot faster than a standard tap. And that means less beer wasted. Also means less time wasted standing in beer lines at sporting events and concerts.
Sales of draft beer had been fizzling. Bars say the TurboTap could rev them up.
TurboTap reportedly pours a perfect pint in as few as 2 seconds and can increase a standard keg yield by up to 30%.
TurboTap has been installed at Wrigley Field, where it's helping vendors make about 40 extra bucks per keg.
Well, let's take a look at Wrigley Field, where they have installed TurboTaps. They're getting up to 8 extra beers per keg. That's about 40 extra bucks per keg. They say the patented device works because it pours beer from the bottom of the glass in an evenly distributed flow. It attaches to all standard taps.
Now this lets bartenders pour draft beer up to 4 times faster than conventional taps.
Okay, so it's a lot faster than traditional taps, but you're probably asking, so what?
So what? There are a lot of people that spend a lot of time waiting in beer lines that are at a stadium that want to get back to their seats and watch the game. We can help them do that. We can also help a bar owner save a lot of money in terms of the beer that they would otherwise waste.
So they're getting about 75 beers out of the keg. We're going to get 98 beers out of the keg.